Testing, testing, testing. Just going to make sure everything's working. Welcome to the last live stream until next Monday. I will not be live this upcoming Saturday as I'll be out of the country. That is why I've been live the last 3 days, in case you're just a little bit late on that information. Let me get everything set up over here on the TikTok side. Because it's my last live stream for a little bit, I might do a longer live stream if we get some good engagement. Anyways, let's look at what's going on in the crypto markets. I just got to finish getting the stream set up, and we'll get started. So right now, Bitcoin getting a little bit of a bounce, and that's awesome to see. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index is sitting at 64 right now. So again, nothing to write home about. Again, I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. Unless you're close to 90 or close to 10, in the middle, it's interesting to see, but I do not really care overall. Let me just make sure the sound's testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, the sound is good. I'm just double checking that. Appreciate if you guys hit the likes. Thank you for the like on YouTube. I do appreciate it. And yeah, let's continue. So right now, Crypto Fear and Greed Index is sitting at 64 in the greed. And again, I'm not super caring about that, but something to look at. Let's go over and look at. Let me turn the music down a little bit. Let's go over and look at Bookmap. Right now, Bookmap still has a lot of liquidity at 115,000. You can see on the daily time frame, if I go full screen here, that if it doesn't want to go full screen, that's weird. Okay. But we can see that we have a lot of liquidity at 102,000. We have a lot of liquidity at 103,000, which does, let me just refresh this. I don't know if this is actually even up to date. There we go. So we still have a lot of liquidity at 103,000, and above us not much. So Bookmap suggests now we go back down to 103,000. If we go back and retest the high 90K range, it wouldn't surprise me that much. So let's go over and actually check out what Bitcoin is doing overall right now. You can see that on the 4-hour time frame. Right now on the 4-hour time frame, Bitcoin is still kind of in this falling wedge. You got the move from the bottom of the channel back to the top of the channel, but overall you have not really broken out of this falling wedge. And to me, now the 3-hour 200-day loss, the 3-hour 200 was lost on Bitcoin. So then you usually go to the 4-hour 200, which is sitting at 103,000 basically. And that's the same place Bookmap suggests we go. So I was bearish yesterday. You got a small bounce to the upside today, just above 106. But now I'm still looking for 103,000 at some point later this week. So we'll see what happens. I hate to say it, I don't like being bearish, but I'm more bearish than bullish. The only good reason, the good thing that if we do go down, obviously you can buy more Bitcoin and more assets. But I'm looking for, Bookmap says we go lower, and right now the moving averages on the 4-hour time frame and 3-hour time frame say we go lower. So let's jump up to the 8-hour. 8-hour, like again, lower high on the RSI, getting rejected off the 21-day moving average on the 8-hour time frame, which is that blue line right there. 12-hour, not getting much of a bounce. You can see the RSI is getting the bounce, but it's a very lackluster one because it just doesn't look healthy. Like, that's a healthy bounce when it goes straight up. This one, it's kind of doing squiggly lines. That's not great. So I don't love what I see on Bitcoin. Like, the daily time frame, my guess is if I go full screen here on the stock RSI, this is probably going to come up here and probably roll back to the downside and get oversold again on the daily. I don't think that's a breakout on the daily RSI, and I'd be looking for more downside. You can see the 3-day RSI wants to come lower. That probably means the 5 days bearish, very bearish actually, 4 days very bearish, and you look at the weekly, which is extremely overbought. So, I gotta make the call right now. I'm looking for 103,000 at some point Tuesday or Wednesday. This is not financial advice. This is just what I see going on in the markets. And I'm looking for more downside here on Bitcoin. If you guys have requests for other altcoins, let me know in the comment section below and I will do them. But I see more downside here for Bitcoin, and that is the unfortunate situation. So right now, to me, Bitcoin looks like you do want to go lower. Let's go down to the really small time frames and see what's going on. You can see that on the 15-minute time frame, we did get oversold, trying to get the bounce, not looking like we're getting the bounce, and you're about to go test a 15-minute 200. So to me, like, it's bearish, and that's pretty much where we stand. 103,000 looks like the most likely scenario. You can kind of see that on the very small time frames, that's a bear flag. You're losing the 200 on the 2-minute time frame, going sideways, and I would be pretty surprised if we don't get a further dump to the downside here on the 2-minute time frame. And the 2-minute, you could short this with a stop above 105.7, take profit 104.950, and that's a valid trade setup. I'm not taking that trade because I'm live streaming, but to me, Bitcoin looks more bearish than bullish. Ethereum, so yeah, we're on Bitcoin. I'll get to Ethereum in about 5 minutes when I wrap up with Bitcoin. So if you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know, and I'll do them. All I request is that you guys hit the likes. Appreciate it. So yeah, to me, Bitcoin on the 2-minute time frame. I know it's a small time frame, but it's just fun to look at the smaller time frames now and then. I mean, to me, that's bearish. Looking for a further dump to the downside. The 1-minute and the 2-minute lost to 200. Now the next stop would be the 3-minute to lose the 200 at 105.2. So to me, that's the most likely scenario. Is that short term we're going to move down to 105,200. We'll see if I'm right or we'll see if I'm wrong. But that's a bear flag, and you could take that trade on the 2-minute time frame. It's a valid trade setup. There's a free trade setup. If you took it, congrats, you would be in the money a little bit, as this 2-minute candle is getting a small move to the downside. So we'll see what happens. But I'm looking for more downside, like 103,000 though on the higher time frames. That's kind of my target for Bitcoin, I should say. That's where Bookmap suggests we go. So anything's possible. Always use a stop loss. But right now, the trend is your friend until the end. The trend is to the downside. So why do anything different than either be out of longs or short the market? So I'm not saying short it on, to zero. But I'm saying we could go down on this 2-minute down to 104.950, and then on the 4-hour, 103 is really the next stop for Bitcoin. I see more downside on the medium time frames, such as the 4-hour, and on the small time frames, such as the 2-minute. I see this as a bear flag. So we'll see what happens. But if we come down to 104.950 sometime in the next 15 minutes, I'd be surprised if we don't actually. So thank you guys for the likes. We are going to look at Ethereum in about 3 minutes. I want to see if this bear flag plays out or not. I am in a small long on Ethereum. It's like 0.21 Ethereum. It's not very much money. By the way, we are live on YouTube as well. So if you guys want to see the entire screen, hop on over there. Again, last live stream until Monday of next week because I'm going out of the country. So that's why we did a few live streams in a row. If you guys would like to join my Telegram group just so you stay up to date while I'm not live streaming, but I am posting videos on YouTube. So the link to join that is on X, my X page. And then if you guys would like to join the Telegram or my trading group, link to join that is the watermark on YouTube. And I know it's up in my TikTok bio as well. So anyways, I want to see if this bear flag plays out, but we're going to get to Ethereum here momentarily. So just be patient. Again, you lost this yellow line right here is a 200-day moving average on the 2-minute. That's a bear flag. And anytime you lose a 2-minute 200, same as if you lose a 2-hour 200, you go down to the 3-hour 200. In this case, the next stop would be the 3-minute 200. So I'm looking for this to be the next target is 105.2, and we can go from there. So we'll see what happens, but it looks bad. And we'll see if this is going to be a bearish retest or what this is going to be. But Bitcoin looks bad on the 2-minute, looks bad on the 15-minute. Bearish engulfing candles. If you could even say maybe that's a rounded top, or it looks more like a V. But yeah, I digress, and it looks bad to me for Bitcoin. So yeah, I would be looking for more downside here, and that is kind of where I stand on it. It just looks like you're going to get that further dump to the downside. 4-hour time frame is still overbought. That's just not a good sign. And actually, I see something else happening now. That's a rising wedge. That's unfortunately a rising wedge. And I'd be looking for a new low to be put in on Bitcoin, which that would put you at below 103. A new low is 103,000 or lower, so Bookmap has liquidity down to that 103 level. Either you get a double bottom or you make a lower low. So we'll see what happens. I would love to see a double bottom at that level. It just doesn't look probable at this point. So again, that's just what we got going on. Is this going to become a bearish retest? We will see here momentarily. Thank you guys for the likes. Mario, thank you for the likes. So that's kind of what we got going on. So to me, Bitcoin's bearish, and that's kind of where I stand for the night on Bitcoin. I am in a trade right now. I'll get into that trade setup. Even though Bitcoin's dumping, that trade is actually in the money now. I've been in that trade for 2 days. I'll get into that. And if you guys were in the live stream yesterday, I believe I said something about that trade setup. And from last night, that trade is also up. So let's go over to Ethereum and see what's going on Ethereum. Let me just make sure that see if we got anything going on here on YouTube. So Ethereum right now, it got a nice move up today. right? It got a nice move up to 26.54. I did not realize it got that high. That was like a mini breakout. But at this point, that's a bearish engulfing candle. Now you had like a few hours of straight up green candles. You have to understand that. But to me, this is not good. 1 hour rolling over, 4 hour time frame extended. And the 4 hour time frame looks like that's kind of like a breakout. That doesn't look bad on the 4 hour. Daily time frame screams that Bitcoin or the Ethereum is very bullish. Here's what I'm going to make this bull call. I'm looking for Bitcoin to go to the downside, but I would be pretty surprised actually if Ethereum tumbles with it. I believe Ethereum, and I made a TikTok video about this 2 hours ago. I think, and I've said this now for a while, but now I'm really doubling down on it. I believe Ethereum is going to start outperforming Bitcoin, and if Ethereum rips while Bitcoin goes down slowly or sideways, then that's going to be good for the altcoin market. You have to understand there's a lot of altcoins out there, so I'm not looking for altcoin season, but I could see a few of the top 100 altcoins doing pretty well if Ethereum can hold 24.65. Because if Ethereum just goes sideways over the next 1 to 2 weeks, but Bitcoin dumps, Ethereum would be outperforming Bitcoin. So to me, you have strong support, and I would even say you have weekly support on Ethereum at 24.65. You must break this weekly resistance now at 27.70. If you can break that, I look for 30.65 to be the next target. So we'll see what happens. But to me, Ethereum is a lot more bullish right now than Bitcoin. I'm not nearly as big. I'm like, to me, maybe on the 50-minute time frame become lower, but I would be very surprised if Ethereum loses that 24.65 level. On the 4 hour time frame, or you could even say on the daily, you have this bull pennant here. It's not the most beautiful one, but you have a bull pennant with a measured move of 29.53. So Ethereum looks pretty good to me right now. Let's go over and look at Ethereum Bitcoin. If this chart's going up, this means Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. This is Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. And right now, it's up a fifth of a percent today, 0.2% in the last few hours since the new daily candle, which I believe was about 4 hours ago, 3.5 hours ago. So to me right now, Ethereum Bitcoin about to break out and breaking out on the daily time frame, falling wedge or a bull pennant, I would say. And now you could even say that this is a mini bull pennant right here with another break to the upside. So I think Ethereum is pretty bullish here at this point, and I would be looking for a bigger move to the upside here on Ethereum. Even that little flag you see right there has a measured move of almost 27. So Ethereum right now looks beautiful to me. You are above the 4 hour 200 on Ethereum Bitcoin. So if you break the 4 hour 200, which you're above, I look for the 6 hour to do it. You're well above it on the 6 hour, then the 8 hour, you're above it on the 8 hour, then the 12 hour. And really the next time frame for you to break the 200-day moving average on Ethereum Bitcoin would be 2.8 cents. So to me right now, I believe Ethereum Bitcoin is going to go up to 2.8. That would be a nice move up, and that might not seem like a lot, but for the second biggest cryptocurrency to be outperforming Bitcoin, that's pretty impressive, and that's awesome, and that's really good for altcoins. So I would be looking for a continuation to the upside on Ethereum. Maybe not tonight, but sometime later this week, I'd be looking for that continuation. This isn't the daily time frame, so it could take a few days to play out, but sometime later this week, I'd be shocked if Ethereum doesn't retest 27.70. So Ethereum Bitcoin is looking bullish, and if that's the case, obviously then Ethereum would follow that, because that's a direct correlation to Ethereum. So if you guys have other requests for altcoins, let me know and I'll look at them. Thank you guys for the likes on YouTube. But yeah, that's kind of what I see. Ethereum looks bullish to me, so thank you for that request. I don't remember who did that. Thank you. Thank you, CH. I can't pronounce that name, for the follow on TikTok. And thank you, Tria27NA, for the follow on TikTok. I appreciate it. But yeah, I see Ethereum continuing to the upside later this week. So and Bitcoin continuing to struggle, continuing to kind of chop sideways or down, and that just doesn't look good. So here's the Bitcoin Ethereum chart. It's the exact opposite of Ethereum Bitcoin, and you can see it's just kind of dumping. So I don't look at this very often, but this is a bear flag on the 4 hour time frame for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Or Bitcoin. So if this chart's going down, that means that Ethereum is doing well against Bitcoin. It's just the opposite of what we just looked at. But this is a major bear flag on Bitcoin and Ethereum. This suggests that Bitcoin's about to dump or go sideways. And one of two situations will happen. Bitcoin dumps and Ethereum goes sideways. That means this chart continues to dump and Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin. Or Ethereum pumps and Bitcoin goes sideways or dumps. So to me right now, I think Bitcoin's going to get the dump. I think Ethereum will get a small move up here. And this suggests that that Ethereum is about to rally up about 100% because that's a 50% dump. For this chart to go from $40 down to $20, that's a major move. If that happens, that suggests that Ethereum is about to go for a 100% move to the upside. That's absolutely insane. I'm looking for a massive breakout this week on Ethereum, especially into July or in June, I should say. Later in June, I'm looking for at least a $3,600 Ethereum. So yeah, that's my bullish thoughts on Ethereum. I'm looking for a massive breakout this month. Because if you break 3065 on Ethereum, your next step is 3568. So 3600 is right around there. 3600. I mean, I make the bold call. I believe Ethereum hits 35 to 3600 sometime in the month of June. We'll see what happens. I could be so wrong, but that's my bold prediction. How do I use the value profile? I don't really. I mean, people ask me this all the time. I don't use it to trade. I just don't. And I definitely wouldn't use it on the 2-minute. You can see though, it is accurate. If you break back above 105.663, you are going to probably go right back to 106.1 or 106.59. And then if you break that to the upside, your next target is 106.250. I don't use it to trade, but that's how you use it. Wherever the biggest lines are, that's where the most liquidity is at on the asset. I wouldn't use it, but it's probably pretty accurate. So I'm not saying it's a bad indicator to use. I just don't use it. And I don't really notice it there. I don't know why I have it, but I have it. And it doesn't bother me, so whatever. But that's how I use it. I would prefer to use Bookmap. That's just me personally. But it's kind of in a way the same thing. But at least on Bookmap you can see the exact orders where stuff is at. Here it's not. It's just kind of more vague. But that's just the free version of it. So yeah, I mean that's how you use it. I don't use it to trade though. How does Cardano look? Let's go look at Cardano. Okay, this is the trade. I want to talk about this trade before I go into Cardano. I'm in this trade right now on the 4-hour time frame, so let me go to the 4-hour time frame. See this major bull pennant? It still hasn't really broken out, but it's up a little bit today. Your measured move is still 27 cents, so I'm still in the trade like swimwear, and my stop loss still remains at 10 cents. Really, that's just the update. I just want to let you guys know I'm in the trade. I'll probably make a video about it tomorrow on YouTube. So Cardano on the daily time frame. Let's start the daily time frame on Cardano and work our way down. Let me just make sure that there's no. What about ETH Bitcoin? We just went over that, so you might have to rewind the stream a little bit. But we went over Ethereum Bitcoin and Bitcoin Ethereum, which I never look at Bitcoin Ethereum, but I did. So let's go over and look at Cardano now. Cardano below the 200-day moving average on the daily time frame. That's not really a good sign. So to me right now, Cardano must reclaim 83 cents to be bullish on the daily. The 12 hours about to cross back over. That's a good sign. That's just maybe we do go back to 83 cents. On the 4-hour time frame, you're below the 200. That's not a good sign either. That's sitting at 74 cents. RSI making a lower high. And if you want to be blunt, I would not be looking for 83 cents though when I look at the smaller time frames. Like that's, I need to refine that a little bit. That bear flag is not exactly the way I just drew it. But my quick drawing is like that, that we do go lower here. And you make some kind of descending triangle or bear flag. And so this is a better way to draw it. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is a better way to draw it. I would be looking for more downside on Cardano. So Cardano looks bearish to me. Unless the 4-hour can get back above, I would say pretty much 74.5 cents or 75 cents. Jumping down to the 1-hour time frame, below the 200-day moving average. 1 hour is getting rejected off the top of the channel again. So to me, more bearish than bullish and looking for more downside on Cardano. I hate to say that, but that's what I see. And Cardano now, but I mean, now you look at the 15, you're above the 200. Let me look at the half hour. Half hour's above it as well. The next stop would be the 1 hour 200. Can you get back to 72 cents on the 1 hour? If you break out of this top white line here and break this downsloping resistance line, then I would be looking for a bigger move back to the upside, probably back down, back up to 76 cents and then 80 cents. So Cardano, I'll say this, Cardano is bearish unless you can break this upsloping white line or make a higher high above 71 cents. If you break 71 cents to the upside, I would be then looking for the ultimate move of 80 cents to be the next stop. So Cardano is bearish if you don't break 71 cents. If you can break 71 cents, then I do see more upside on Cardano. Thank you for the likes, Tebow. Appreciate it. You're welcome. Greater is he. So anyways, let's talk ZBEC, please. I don't know what that is. Should I go look it up? ZEBEC. It sounds like, let me just look at the chart. It sounds sketchy. It sounds really, really sketchy to me. But appreciate all the likes on YouTube. So let's go look at ZBEC. I have zero idea what this is. This looks really, really sketchy. Look how fast it went up. Look at this. It's up on the month 200%, 3 months 270%, 6 months 327%, but it is on MXC, so I don't even think I can trade it on the exchanges I use. Daily is making a higher low, above the 200, so even though it's a sketchy coin that looks very volatile, it is doing decent. So, yeah, it looks pretty good to me overall. I would not touch this. It's very high risk, and that could be a double top there, so I'd be very cautious. But let's put in these support and resistance levels nonetheless and kind of see what we got going on. So to me, yeah, it probably topped out there, but I could be wrong. I'm not saying it's not going to make a higher low like on the daily, but for right now, I would say that's a double top, and your next support is 37 or 38. So if we come back down to 38, that might be a healthy retest for maybe a double bottom there on ZBEC. So we'll see what happens, but to me right now, ZBEC kind of probably topped out. I could be wrong. It's not financial advice, right? I'd be looking for a move back to the downside to make a double bottom on ZBEC. So that's just, it looks bad. I gotta say, it looks pretty bad. It doesn't look bad, but like I'd be looking for a retest back to the downside on whatever this is. I don't have any data on what this is. I don't know what the market cap is. A lot of these coins on MEXC are pretty low in market cap. This could probably be a few million though. The fact you're holding these levels, it doesn't look like a pump and dump. So I'll say it probably is a few $1 million market cap, but I have no idea what this is. So it's the RWA partnership with Circle. Well, the chart looks pretty bullish to me. I mean, I think short term you come back down at 38, but the chart looks bullish to me on like the daily. Like that's a very bullish candle. That's a bullish. The 200s, but I would say this: you're pretty far away from the 200-day moving average on the daily. That's at 14, so I think you need a major pullback here on ZBEC. But the daily still looks bullish to me for a higher low, and even if you get a move back to 38, that's still a higher low on the daily. So we'll see what happens. I would be looking for a move down, but that could be something to have on your radar going forward. Like maybe later in the month of June, that could be a good buy. They're doing real-time streaming. Payroll is the main project. Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I wish they would, maybe in the future they'll get on more exchanges. I don't know. So AVAX. I want to look at something really quick. Let's go look at AVAX Bitcoin. So, guys, a lot of coins are getting annihilated compared to Bitcoin. I'm really stuffed up. A lot of coins are really bearish compared to Bitcoin. You're below the 200-day moving average. Hold on. Just hold on. So right now, you're below the 200-day moving average on the daily time frame on AVAX Bitcoin, which suggests more downside. And my point being is a lot of altcoins are getting absolutely annihilated compared to Bitcoin. They're getting absolutely annihilated, and that's not a good thing if you hold altcoins. So I would be looking for more downside here on this AVAX coin. I mean, we'll go look at the chart, but that's pretty bearish. So AVAX Bitcoin looks pretty bad. But let's go look at the actual chart of AVAX. So AVAX to me, below the 200, pretty bearish. You could break out this falling wedge, so we can negate that. It's been a minute since I've looked at AVAX, but yeah, I wouldn't be touching this. Not maybe. I mean, I just wouldn't touch it. The 12-hour is flirting with the 200. The 4-hour is flirting with the 200. I don't even see like good levels to trade this. The 1 hour is below the 200. I would just keep it simple. And If you're below this resistance at $33, your next support is $17.50. And I mean, at this point, that looks probable you go back down to $17.50. Even the smaller time frame is kind of struggling here, so I would be cautious on AVAX. This is not something I want to be in. I'm sorry, it looks horrible. The chart looks atrocious. I mean, this is there's no trades here. The chart looks awful. There's probably trades here if you look at the smaller time frames, but I would not touch AVAX. Like if I wouldn't put my own money on that. I would not. So we'll see what happens. I don't think I did that right at all. There we go. That's how you do it. So has measured move back down to 1750. That looks like the most likely target on AVAX. That looks on a scale of 1 to 10. That's about a 2. That looks awful. Thank you guys for the likes on YouTube. I appreciate it, and TikTok. Yeah, AVAX looks really, really bad. Thank you, Justin Kelly, 75 for the follow. Can I do White Rock? What is the ticker for White Rock? Isn't that like a stock? I'll look. I mean, what's the ticker? I don't know what the ticker for that is. Let's go look at Tesla while we're talking about stocks. I'm still long in Tesla right now. Hopefully, this is just a bullish retest. It still looks good to me. Look at that. That's aggressive turning up on the stock RSI. I've been looking for a bounce tomorrow. I'm still long on Tesla from 346, and really that's still basically a break even. So I'm still pretty happy with my position. I still see this going to 416 and probably more like 426 in the month of June. I'm going to call it $426 Tesla at some point in the month of June. We'll see what happens. But that just looks like the most likely scenario is that measurement of 428, 426. AVAX looks atrocious this cycle. Solana, thank you for the follow, Tony. Solana looks atrocious as well. It looks awful. So Solana still looks bad to me as well. I mean, good God. We're gonna remove all the drawings and we'll start from scratch. But Solana looks bad to me as well compared to Bitcoin. Solana was at this price when Bitcoin was at 65K. So to me, Solana is the no bueno to hold either. If you can't reclaim 188, I look for $96 again. And yes, you're going to have supports back to the downside. But, I mean, Solana looks really bad. I see 144 as support as well. But overall, this chart does not look very bullish to me, and I would be looking for more downside on Solana. So your next support is 144, then $96. You're below the 200 on the daily. The 12-hour is above it. A 4-hour time frame is below it at 165. 1 hour, same thing. So, kind of like AVAX. This doesn't look much better than AVAX. It's like a rising wedge. So, I mean, do what you want with this information. I'm just telling you, you guys asked me for my advice, and then you probably want me to be bullish on it, but it looks atrocious. So, you have to remember there's way too many altcoins out there, and I think Solana should be just... I think Solana is eventually going to be the third biggest asset in the crypto markets, but for right now, it looks bad. So that's no bueno. To me, that's bad. It doesn't look hardly any better than AVAX, to be honest. This is like a 2 out of 10 as well on my scale. I would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. And measure move is 133. So again, AVAX or Solana looks pretty bad. It just looks bad. Thank you, Atlas Blue, for the follow. Appreciate it. Greater is he. Appreciate it. So yeah, thank you guys for the more likes, and yeah, that's kind of what I see going on for Solana. I see more downside in the markets. Again, if Bitcoin goes down to my target of 103 or 103,000 at some point later this week, 4 hours bad, and you look at the Bookmap, again, at the beginning of the stream, we looked at Bookmap, and that says 103 as well. So I'm looking for a bear flag on the 2-minute, but like even on the 4-hour time frame, I think sometime this week, by Friday market close, stock market close in the U.S., I should say, so 3 p.m. Central Time or something like that, I would be looking for a move to down to a minimum 103K on Bitcoin. Doesn't look great. By the way, my next live stream, just to repeat myself one more time, is next Monday at about this time. I'll give you guys the exact time in my Telegram chat. I haven't decided yet. Depends on a lot of things. But that's I get back Monday from vacation, so I don't know what time I'll go live. It'll probably be around this time, though, between 9 and 11 p.m. I like the 10 p.m. hour, so maybe 10. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. And Bitcoin right now is struggling. So if there's any other requests, let me know. Otherwise, that's going to wrap it up. I'll be posting several videos on YouTube. So make sure you go hit the follow button on YouTube. Hit the bell notification so you get notified every time I post a video. I'm going to do a Bitcoin update tomorrow on YouTube. Probably a Jasmine video, XCN video. Probably an update on my trade. And then probably one more coin. I don't know which one yet. So we'll see. If there's a hot coin tomorrow, maybe I'll do a hot coin. But yeah, that's kind of going to wrap it up. The trend is your friend until the end. Always use a stop loss. And right now the trend is to the downside on Bitcoin. So I would not be long on Bitcoin. It's not financial advice. It's just what I would be doing. Or what I wouldn't be doing for that matter. So thank you guys for 1,000 likes on YouTube. Okay, we're going to go through these. Fart coin on the daily doesn't have any data. Fart coin on the 12-hour above the 200. 8-hour above the 200. 6-hour, 4-hour. 4-hour needs to get back above the 200-day moving average on Fart coin. Have you done that on the 3-hour? No, you haven't. Have you done it on the 1-hour? No, you haven't. So, again, have we not seen this same setup on the other two assets we just looked at? That's a rising wedge, and a lot of these altcoins, as weird as it seems, are doing the same thing. And a lot of the coins in the top 100 are making rising wedges that are probably going to dump to the downside. And that is kind of 70 cents as a target on Fartcoin. 2 out of 10 at most. 2 out of 10 at most. H-bar on the daily time frame. You're well below the 200. That's not a good sign. 12-hour, that's definitely a rising wedge. Look how fast the RSI is getting overbought. 4-hour 200, I believe you're below it. Yeah, that's sitting at 18.9, basically 19 cents. And same situation. It looks like, I mean, I can't believe this. The last 4 coins we've looked at have had rising wedges on the have had rising wedges, and they just all look bad. So to me, that's a rising wedge. Measure move is 13 cents. And then Pepe. Maybe Pepe will be our saving grace. I don't know. The market looks awful right now. Below the 200 on the daily. 12-hour is above the 200. Are you above it on the 4-hour? Yes, you are. Pepe looks maybe slightly better than the rest of the market. 1 hour, look how fast the RSI is getting oversold. Pepe could be the coin to trade tonight. 15-minute time frame, not looking to bounce just yet. 33-minute needs more downside. But I would watch Pepe. I don't think it's time to buy just yet. But Pepe actually looks like you could get a bounce here and get a major rip back to the upside. So I still think that's pretty sketchy price action. But you don't have any resistance right now on Pepe until you get back up to that 16-cent level. So Pepe looks decent to me for a trade. To me, it's still a wait. It's not a buy. But the other ones were not buys at all. So to me, Pepe looks somewhat interesting for a move up. And that's just what I see. I see Pepe probably getting a move to the upside here later this week. I wouldn't take that trade. It doesn't look fantastic, but that's about a 4 out of 10. And that's the best we've seen in some time. Bitcoin getting the dump to the downside, and that's just kind of what we got going on. I see Pepe maybe getting a bounce, but I wouldn't love it. It's not beautiful enough to long. I would not be longing Pepe based on that information, but it's something to watch. It's something to watch. It looks like Pepe on the 15-minute time frame is going to print another red candle, making a lower low. Maybe trying to round out here, but again, I would say 4 out of 10 at best. I don't see a long setup on this right now. You could flag it out. But it looks pretty bad. I wouldn't touch that. I really wouldn't. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you guys next Monday for my next live stream. I'll be posting some more videos tomorrow morning, so hopefully you guys check that out over on YouTube. Until next week, trade safe. Always use a stop loss. The trend is your friend until the end. Right now, the trend is down Bitcoin. I'm looking for 103K on a Bitcoin later this week. I'll make a Bitcoin update tomorrow. Have a great week, y'all. Cheers, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks to you for the support and for stopping by. If you guys want to join the trading group, click the link in the TikTok bio or on my YouTube page. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a great rest of your Monday night. Adios. Cheers.